Well, good morning, everyone, here and there. It's good to see everyone. It's wonderful to be giving a talk in this space. I haven't done this in quite a while, and it's wonderful to see so many new faces, as well as so many old faces. So I've wanted to give this talk for a while. For the last couple of years, I think I've become aware of the importance of taking care of my aging body. Our society, of course, constantly reinforces the importance of taking care of our body. We're encouraged to eat right and to exercise and to brush our teeth after every meal. We're encouraged to purchase various products that will make our skin younger and our hair more luxurious and our breath smell better. And in fact, I think we're here in this Zendo and in this virtual Zendo because in our society, we don't give as much attention to the state of our mind. And that's what zazen is about. But how do we take care of our body? Do we take appropriate care of it? Do we exercise and get enough sleep and eat right and go to the doctor? Do we pay appropriate attention to our breathing, to our stress, to our vision? Or do we neglect some aspect of our health? Now, medically, it can be very important to catch problems early so that perhaps they can be treated before they become more serious. But for whatever reason, we often actually neglect our body. I know there are people in this society who are just trying to survive, just trying to make it from work to childcare to home to get food on the table and back to work again the next day. And maybe they don't have time to take care of themselves. Maybe we're afraid that a visit to the doctor will result in bad news, and we want to avoid bad news. Maybe we don't have the money to take appropriate care of our body, to have things taken care of that need to be taken care of. And then, of course, there are those times when we're really struggling with our health, and our body becomes almost our entire focus. We put everything else aside. Although, of course, at these times, we also have to pay attention to the health of our mind, because when our body is threatened, it does a lot to our mind. Our mind is really affected when our body is threatened. The mind goes into overdrive. So as a longtime meditator, taking care of my mind is kind of second nature now. But as I said at the beginning, as I've gotten older, I've started appreciating the importance of just checking in with my body. Noticing when I'm sitting in a chair for a while, how my posture is, whether I actually need to stand up and stretch and get the blood moving. In fact, I've rediscovered the importance of stretching just in general, elongating muscles that are compressed. There's the sheer pleasure of a hot shower. There's the pleasure of getting outdoors during the day and letting the sun hit my skin and the back of my eyes. And so over the last couple of years, I've noticed the little body rituals that I have for taking care of myself. And I want to use this talk to just encourage all of us to be mindful of this precious gift of a human body that we've all been given. We will age and die, but we're alive now. And everything we experience is experienced through our bodies. Paraphrasing Maizumi Roshi, appreciate your body. So I got this term body ritual actually from a paper that I read a long, long time ago. It's a very famous paper. It was published in 1956 in the Journal of Anthropology, I believe, and it's called The Body Ritual of the Nasarima. And this paper examines the exotic body rituals of a particular North American tribe. The author, Horace Minor, asserts that the fundamental belief underlying the whole system appears to be that the human body is ugly and that its natural tendency is to debility and disease. Incarcerated in such a body, man's only hope is to avert these characteristics through the use of ritual and ceremony. So, wow, we are incarcerated in such a body which is both ugly and which tends to debility and disease. Now note, this is the author's characterization of this tribe's psychological attitude towards the body. He's talking about a particular tribe. And I'll send around a link to the article after the talk. The mystery of what tribe he's talking about is part of what makes this article interesting, because he doesn't say. And so you can read it on your own time if you're interested. I'm not really terribly interested in analyzing that particular statement, although it's quite interesting. Just wanted to note that this article sparked my curiosity about the role of ritual in taking care of our bodies. Whether there is or should be a ritual element to taking care of our bodies. In some cases, it may be a private ritual or semi-private ritual, like taking a shower. Or it may be a public ritual, like an exercise class or fusatsu. In Japan, if you go to an onsen, which is a spa associated with a hot spring, there's a men's onsen and a women's onsen, and people of the same gender bathe together. So I think there's a place for ritual here. So let's go on a little mental journey naming body rituals that each of us, to one degree or another, may have. So there's the body ritual of yoga. Whether you do yoga in a class or whether you do yoga at home on your own, there's a ritual that you're engaging in which brings your attention to your body and to your breath. Sometimes just a few asanas, a few yoga postures will open up my chest and my hip and my back. I bend forward, relax my neck and back. I stretch back, open up my chest and open up my hips. And it sort of resets my whole mood and the way I bring my body into the next moment. Just that few moments of ritual. I mentioned earlier there's the body ritual of a hot shower. So what is this for you? So take a moment in this mental journey to recall the body ritual of a hot shower. Just close your eyes and think about taking a hot shower and how you feel as you tilt your head back and let the water flow through your hair and down your back. I have the body ritual of walking the dogs, which I've actually turned into walking meditation. I used to walk really aggressively for exercise, and I see a lot of people out there that are just, they don't stop to look at anything. They want to get through the thing and get their blood moving. And I've turned my dog walk into walking meditation, and just breathing and putting one foot in front of the other and just letting the thoughts drop away in my mind. Speaking of of walking the dogs, for those of you who have pets, there's the body ritual of being with your pets. So those of you who have cats or dogs or gerbils or iguanas, whatever it is that you have, know that our physical relationship with our pets can be very intimate. The cat caresses me with the side of his face over and over again. The dog lays on her back and raises her puppy paws as I scratch the side of her face. I read an article in the New York Times the other day, which is actually was this. I don't know if it's true. It's in the New York Times. One might think it's true, but it said that over 50% either of Americans or of pet owners in America say that their pet knows them better than anyone else in their lives, which is kind of an astonishing statement if you believe it. And I think it speaks to the loneliness crisis that exists in this country. Uh, but it's still, it's a beautiful thing that they have a pet, and they can connect us to our bodies, to their bodies, to this life in a very beautiful way. It's the body ritual of brushing your teeth. You probably have a very particular way of brushing your teeth. Maybe you have one of those electronic toothbrushes. Maybe you have a water pick. Probably use a particular brand of toothpaste that someone has told you should use. But it's a body ritual that you do to take care of your body. It's a body ritual of dance, body ritual of sex, body ritual of giving someone a hug, body ritual of fusatsu, giving in to bowing, just bowing, being at one with our karma. And of course, there's the body ritual of zazen. We sit with our bodies, which means we sit with our body and our mind because they're not separate. So the next time you sit, pay attention to what's going on in your body. Are your shoulders a little tight? Is your breathing a little tight? You have some pain somewhere? And just let it go. Just breathe into it. Observe your breath. What sensations are you noticing right now? And how do you come out of meditation? What's that experience like? We sit zazen every day. So think of it as one of your body rituals. It's really quite a miraculous body ritual in which, by sitting quietly and breathing and focusing our mind, we connect with our true nature, the self that is one with the universal self. It's a body ritual in which we drop body and mind. So I think but just being mindful of our body rituals is in keeping with the entirety of our Zen practice. And we can make space in our life for our body rituals. Not because our mindful body practices are going to eliminate sickness, old age, and death. They won't. They may benefit our health, and that's a good thing. But eventually we will get sick, and we will die. And if we're lucky, we'll get old. It seems that every passing year brings health challenges after you reach a certain age. And when you're young, this is less obviously true. But I think the first noble truth is something that we all know to be true if we allow ourselves to realize it, if we're not just busying ourselves with distractions. So why be mindful of our body if it doesn't make us live longer? Because it's part of the path. We won't always be mindful. We're imperfect. Our mindfulness sometimes slips like slipping a gear, but we keep coming back to the path, and we can keep coming back to our bodies. Of course, sometimes our body is sick, and we have special rituals when we're sick. We have pain medicine. We have physical therapy. We participate in medical rituals of getting blood, of IV lines, of surgery. And as I started to think about this, I was reminded of a koan that brings our attention to the duality of sick and not sick, the duality of young and old, of healthy and not healthy, which is case 83 from the Book of Serenity. Dao Wu tends the sick. Wishan asked Dao Wu, "Where are you coming from?" And Dao Wu said, "I've come from tending the sick." Wishan said, "How many people were sick?" And Dao Wu said, "Well, there were the sick and the not sick." Wishan said, "Isn't the one not sick you, ascetic Ji?" Dao Wu said, "Being sick and not being sick have nothing to do with him at all. Speak quickly, speak quickly." And Wishan said, "Even if I could say anything, it would have no relation." There's also, of course, anytime we talk about sickness and health, there's the Vimalakirti Sutra. And in the Vimalakirti Sutra, the great lay practitioner says, "I am sick because the whole world is sick. If everyone's illness were healed, mine would be too. Because bodhisattvas come into this world of both birth and death for the sake of all beings, and part of being in this world of birth and death is getting sick. When everyone is liberated from illness, I will be too." Sometimes it does seem that the whole world is sick. And of course, because we are interdependent, we're not just affected by the sickness. We are the sickness. We're part of it. Now, when I think I'm coming down with a cold or think that there might be something serious going on, I can be a bit of a hypochondriac. I worry a lot. I rush to the doctor. I pop pills. I take my medicine. And I need to think that I'm healthy so that I can function in the world. And yet, healthy and sick are just ideas. And when I've been very, very sick, I put everything aside. I take care of myself. That's all I do. I stop trying to do other things. And that's how I'm functioning in the world at that time. The anxiety that I had before about getting sick is extra. When I'm sick, I take care of my body. I saw a wonderful play written by Amy Herzog recently called Mary Jane. And in it, the main character is a mother who has a son that we never see with cerebral palsy. He remains off stage. And in the second act, she meets another mother with a chronically ill child in the hospital whose name is Chaya. And Chaya says that she worries about her daughter all the time when they're at home. How's she doing today? Does she have a temperature? Is she getting enough water, enough food? And all of this worry is just to avoid going back to the hospital. But when they're in the hospital, she says everything becomes quiet. The hospital is reality for her. It becomes her reality at that time. And all of that anxiety just falls away. Being sick and not being sick have nothing to do with him at all. So who is him in this sentence? What is your true self? Is that self sick or not sick? In our zazen, we touch that place where being sick and not being sick don't arise. We touch that place where we are one with both sickness and health. Dawu is pointing to emptiness, including the emptiness of the body, this body which will fall away. Nothing fixed, nothing permanent, wholly dependent on causes and conditions. This body is always changing. Today's body is not yesterday's body. So let's appreciate the gift of an empty body. Let's stretch and exercise, and dance, and brush our teeth, and take a shower, and do zazen. There's a lovely verse and commentary that goes with this koan that I'll read the very last bit of. Subsisting peacefully, sky covers, earth supports. Moving on, sun flies, moon runs. This is called the function of the whole body, returning the function to the substance. When still, being the root of heaven and earth. In action, harmonizing with the minds of sages and saints. Do you understand this kind of talk?